Welcome to the Performance Circus with myself, Mitch Creek, and the lovely Beck Cole, where we dive into everything physical, mental, and lifestyle success. Today we have an amazing guest, but first of all, Beck, welcome back. How are we?
I'm stunning. I've missed you, Creaky, so I'm glad we're back here with an incredible guest that I can't wait to talk about.
Well, I'll let you introduce her in a second. I appreciate the little pump up to make me feel like I was missed in the interim. But who have we got today? Introduce her and a little bit about her.
So she's a queen of the track, and if you don't see her on the track, you'll see her probably on social media with big brands like Team Jagged, Mizuno Australia, F45 Training. You know, maybe she's rubbing some shoulders with some A-list celebrities, really into fashion. You might see her on the red carpet. But welcome, the queen of the track and the stunning Morgan Mitchell.
Oh, round of applause.
Thanks, guys. I was not expecting that.
What a hype up. How does that feel?
I'm already sweating. Jeez. It's so funny. I forget what I've actually done in my career and what I'm doing. And then when someone mentions it, I'm like, what the fuck? Little, like we were just saying, little old me from Werribee, like random. But yeah.
You forget that you've been taken out of the sticks and you've done a whole bunch of great in your life, and then you kind of get stuck in the rat race, and all of a sudden you're like, fuck, I haven't done anything. Like, I need to do something. I need to be active. And then someone tells you and you're like, oh,
yeah, I'm actually pretty good.
Yeah, I'm actually pretty good.
Yeah, I think that's the best part about it. You guys will understand, like being an athlete, we're hardwired to just work hard, work harder, work harder, work harder, that we just don't have an off switch. And I'm kind of glad that that translates into my normal life and everyday life. But at the same time, I wouldn't mind a full 8 hours sleep.
Facts.
What's that?
And I think this is why we're excited to talk to you, is because I feel like you're an onion. If people don't really know you, there is just so many layers and so many things to you,
I was like,
right?
make people cry.
You're like Donkey as well, and Shrek, kind of the same. You're an onion.
It's all the same.
Yeah.
But it's like you've been to World Championships, you've been to an Olympic Games, you've been to Commonwealth Games. Like, that is so amazing.
Yeah.
Facts, you should be so proud of that. And then what I love is you've built this personal brand. You're working with all these brands, and I can't wait to dive in to be like, how did you get there, first of all? But also it's being your true authentic self, which Creaky and I are all about. And I feel like that's maybe what has helped you got to where you are. And if I was a little girl, I'd honestly be like, I want to look up to Morgan and what she's done, and like how she's just gone about life in such an amazing way, being her, achieved all these things. Yeah. So maybe let's start off with athletics, because I feel like track and field, if you're not in it, I feel like not a lot of Australians know a lot about it. No. So could you maybe take us through like your daily schedule, weekly schedule, and the fact that you have to wait like months in between competitions?
Yeah, it's pretty hectic. Like my weekly schedule starts obviously on a Monday. I'm in the gym and on the track, so it's a full day, 8 hours with, recovery and physio in between. And then Tuesday is another track day. Wednesday's more gym and a jog. I love to box. I love jiu-jitsu. I love all of that. So that's my way of keeping fit away from the track when I have to do cross training. I'm not really big on the elliptical and I can't do it. Forget about it.
No one needs the elliptical. Just pushing and pulling like an absolute turkey. It's a horrible machine. You see people on it and you're like, this is doing you no justice, love. Like, get off and just lift the weight, please.
And then, Thursday's gym and track. Friday is sometimes a day off depending on what my coach wants from me. I love her. Bit of a hard ass, but I'm like, if that's what she wants, if I get a day off, I'll take it. If not, I'm back in the gym or on the track. And then, Saturday's usually like a lactic day and Sunday's just a long run. And it's kind of annoying because we do that day in and day out for about 5 months in the lead up to a major. Then we have nationals, have another big break. We'll go away. We'll do a training camp, which I'm not mad about. I get to choose my training camp this year.
Stunning.
For the first time ever. Hawaii is where I've picked, yeah.
Okay.
Well, it used to be Flagstaff. Have you guys been there?
No.
Like north of Phoenix, up in the hills.
Oh, the hills. Oh, that
sounds like trauma.
Yeah. It's like altitude training.
It's a vertical. Yeah.
And there's nothing there. And I said to my coach, the older I get, the more I want to have fun with the sport, because I don't know how many years I have left, right? So, we're there for a few months, and then everything finally kicks off with the European season. I feel like it might be similar to basketball. Like you have the Aussie season and then the European American season where you can get the opportunity to go over and compete. Yeah. And so for us, we go world champs, straight into Com Games, into another world champs, into another Olympics. So you still cycle each year for a major, but the biggest one for athletics is the Olympics, because how many of us in this room have actually watched the world champs? No.
Yeah.
Well, I watched the Diamond League. I used to do track growing
so
up,
you
so
get it.
I like love the Diamond
Yeah.
League. KO get on. Yeah, love it. Yeah.
See, if you ran, you get it. But if you never ran in your life, you're just like, well, cool. I just want to see Usain Bolt run the 100.
Yeah.
And then we just move on.
And everyone looks at the Olympic track and field and go, oh, there it is. Oh, 5 days time, 4:00 in the AM. Oh,
Yeah.
okay, who cares?
Yeah.
We'll just wait for that. And it's like, what happened? We won 12 gold medals, 7 silvers. And it's like,
Yeah.
but who are they? What do they do?
Yeah.
No one really cares. You're right. It's kind of the glorified one. But when you have that kind of, you have the end goal of like,
Yeah.
I want to be a gold medal Olympian.
Yeah.
But everything else in between is still a major achievement, still a major goal, still a major mindset shift. But it's the peak season, and then it's the downtime, and then it's the balance, and then it's not too much, not too little. How do you find some sort of normality in life when every day is scheduled, every day is to what your coach needs? What do you need to feel like you can perform at your best? Like, what does that look like for you? Is it the regime that's given to you? Or is it really like,
Such a nerd. You're going to find a lot out.
this is great? Or is it like, I need to go
Anime.
and push it one way, push it the other way, and then I need to go and do some wild shit on the side? Like, if you say you need to go ride an elephant up a hill, like on a handstand, I'd be like, fuck, that's sick.
Fair.
Like, go for it. Like, that's
But
mad.
that's you for like no, not an elephant.
down.
Sorry.
I rock up on a motorbike. I was like, what the
Yeah, like he goes and jumps out of planes as like I'm calming down. Like, hey, here's a rest day. Let me jump out of a plane. Like, that's him.
Can I say fuck? What
Yeah.
the fuck?
Yeah.
You couldn't pay. I'm terrified of heights.
Hey, really?
There's no amount of money. No
So
amount.
you got gold grills, tattoos, you got full Werribee, and
Yeah.
you're scared of heights.
Terrified of the heights.
Spiders?
Dark. Nah, spiders I don't mind.
You're scared of the dark, and you're
Terrified
wearing
of the
two
dark
black
still.
items.
Yeah. Well, it's not dark. I can see.
Like you got lights.
The dark heights is one more. Oh, tight spaces.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Everyone
No.
keeps asking me to go on SAS.
Nah.
And I'm like, I have no reason to shit myself on national television in front of everyone. Like, I'm not getting paid enough for that. What the like, oh, it's so, it's life changing. Cool. I'm happy with my life.
Yeah.
I don't want to change it.
Mine doesn't need to change. Like,
I
if you
know
call
I'm
in a little cave, we did it at a school camp one
Nah.
time.
Are you scared?
And I remember everyone was like tiny, and this is when I had a massive growth spurt. Now, I'll show you a photo afterwards. I looked stupid when I was young. I was tall, covered in acne, and just was gangly as hell. I looked like one of the worms from Men in Black. And I remember going on a school camp, and they're like, hey, we're going to go do cave diving. Here's me thinking, cool, cave diving. That sounds fun, like whatever. And I remember getting into a tight space, and I instantly had never felt fear ever in my life. Grew up on a farm, bikes, always, you get knocked down, you break your arm, whatever it is, it'd be like, oh, if the bone's not out of the skin, you're fine, go inside. Like, just wash it off.
Built different.
And I rolled into this cave thinking like, oh, it'll be easy. I got halfway through, and they go, the only way at this point is through. You can't go back.
Oh, nah, triggered. See you later.
And I remember sitting
I'm
there
stuck.
like,
How old?
I was like, I would have been early teens, like 10, 11. And I just remember thinking like,
That's not
I'm
teens,
stuck. Yeah, it was last year actually. But I was stuck, and I was like, I can't get out. And fear hit me for the first time. And I was like, that's what fear feels like. That is
Welcome
the worst fear
to my
in
world.
the world. And that's the one thing I won't ever do again is crawl through a
Really?
tight space like
At
that.
all. What
No.
about being stuck in an elevator?
So that's okay. I can live with that. It depends who you're stuck in the elevator with.
No,
Facts.
no,
Who
no
would you not wanna be
chances.
stuck
No. We were in France for training. I had my 4 best friends. We're all, and there's, how they've got the height, not the height, the number of people, there's a weight restriction, blah, blah, blah. I'm looking, this elevator's built in like 1840. They know I'm scared of heights and I'm scared of tight spaces. We're going up, we're on the top floor. I look at them all and I say, you fucking bitches, you know I'm scared. There's 6 flights of stairs that I don't want to walk up. Please just don't jump. One of my best mates, Ella, she gets in there and goes, I lost it. I got out, and every single day for a month, I would walk the 6 flights. Fuck, I'm not doing that.
She ruined it. She absolutely ruined
She
it.
just looks at me. She's like, the way she jumped, I was like, I hate you. Why are we mates?
That's a triggering thing that I think everyone has done in their lifetime when someone feels awkward in a tight space and you jump in the elevator, and the one day it's actually going to snap and you're going to feel bad.
Just look at him on your way down.
like,
Like,
Probably be dead, so there's
I
nothing to feel
deserve
sorry
that,
about.
and you're dead. So it's unfortunate.
and you're dead.
But back to going.
Sorry, what was the question?
Yeah, I know, right?
That was a big segue.
You asked it. I think, yeah, I don't even remember.
I can't remember what I asked
like
you.
in between the big meets.
Yeah.
Because, like, for me, it's a pet peeve waiting all week to play on a Sunday. Like, you don't get that. I know you have your national in Australia and your meets, but, like, no offense, I'm sure you're winning that by 1 million minutes. But, like, what gets you through in the daily grind of being able to be like, okay, I have 3 months till I finally, you know, I'm going overseas and I'm doing something that I love in a great country. Like, what gets you through that?
My coach is going to hate me. I hope she doesn't watch this. But for me, I love to travel.
Yeah.
So I have so many moments where I've just jumped on a plane before a comp and like flown to Queensland just to tan.
Love that.
Because I said to her, I was like, life's for living. And again, growing up in Werribee with a single mum and no money, I was like, I'm going to take every opportunity I can. And I love doing stuff by myself. Like I have my best friends, but they know like I have my Sudoku book. I got a travel chess set for all the oldies that want to play with me. Because you can learn a lot from
I was in chess club in year 5 and 6.
It's so fun. I love chess. And then, just online shopping. And I just love doing things that I can do on my own. So you'll find me like, we have a friend's family fun that I like to drive to just to zone out and like kick back. I think it's the same. Like it's nice relating to you two because you understand that when you're playing, all eyes are on you. And then in the lead up, all eyes are on you. 5 days after, they're probably criticizing the game and X, Y, and Z. So I love you'll literally find me in a different state sometimes.
Nah, that's just
or overseas. I once went to America for a week before training.
When you're away, are you training or it's like, nah, I'm not doing a thing to do with athletics. Like this is me time.
Oh, no, I'll still train for sure. But I think because I'm more into that like fashion entertainment world, I don't even watch sport half the time.
Yeah.
I love live sport. If a friend's competing, I'll watch. But for me, I'm like, I just don't want to hear about it. I've been surrounded by sport for 29 years of my life. Like, I really don't want to talk about running when I'm trying to tan and swim in Queensland. No one wants that.
It's a balance that we have to all find. And if you don't find it, you end up going fucking
Crazy.
Bananas. And it's too hard to get away from. You're right. Your phone blows up. I remember like you wake up, your phone's gone off. There's 10, 15, 20 things and you're like, okay, I know I've got a lot on my plate, but I don't really want to have to be an adult today. I want to just disappear a little bit.
Yeah.
So I think that for all of us, we have to find that balance. And for a lot of people that listen, it's about finding the balance with whatever you do. So if you've got a job and you're working 9 to 5 and you're like, I need to provide more, you have to find either how to make more money in less time or you supplement your time to make more money.
Yeah.
But for us, it's like if you don't go in and train, you know that there's going to be a point where it could come back and bite you in the ass.
Yeah.
Have you had that? Like, have you had the moments where you go into a meet and you're like, okay, I've got prerequisite times and distances and things that I have to hit. I've got my KPIs. But has there been moments, and do you want to kind of share a bit of that? I know it's never easy saying, hey, I went underdone, but I'm proud enough to say, you know what?
Always.
I fucking didn't do any extras this week and I played like shit. And I go home and I go, well, I laid a lemon because I was a lemon this week. So,
I laid 11. I've never heard of that.
It's an absolute shit show, but I deserve that this week.
Yeah.
So have you felt that? And then how do you, like, have you learnt from it? Like, how does that feel for you now that you're kind of at that point in your career?
It's kind of funny. Like when I was younger, I was not vulnerable at all. I would just blame. And then the older I got with injury, the worst time was the Tokyo 2021 Olympics. I went in with a partially torn Achilles. And so talk about underdone, I made the team, which was, I don't know anyone that's done that. It's pretty sick. We kept it on the down low because I didn't want to be that person that just complains like, fuck my leg. Like when everyone else, we're going through COVID, everyone else is struggling. And so that was one of them. Yeah, that no Com Games 2014, I went in overweight. I got dragged for that. It was bad. I've been through the ringer and I think I've learned, like we said, having a life outside of athletics, going in underdone, acknowledging and just being vulnerable with, I screwed up, hopefully won't happen again. And then understanding that the sport doesn't define me. I think that's what helps. And I came dead last. A girl kind of pulled her hammy in the race. So technically 7th, but dead last.
Lost to a torn hamstring.
Yeah, dead last with a torn Achilles. And I just walked off like, what have I fucking done? That's so embarrassing. Why did I do that? But it taught me so much about myself. And I thought, okay, while I'm injured, I'm going to work hard away from the track to build relationships with all my sponsors, find new ones, people that have similar interests with what I'm into, and kind of move on from there to like not only, I guess, cancel out all the negative backlash that comes with being underdone, but to move forward and be like, okay, it's just, at the end of the day, it is just running. Like, I've seen a lot of, world champions, Olympic champions finish the sport with nothing and go on Instagram and ask for a job. So I'm like, okay, I don't want to be that. Whether you go in underdone, whether you're winning medals or not, you still come out of it a completely different person, and no one cares about your resume on the track. So I think that understanding that and having a life outside the sport really helped with the vulnerability, because you guys know what it's like. You guys have to get selected for teams. Like us, if we run the time, there's no denying it. You're on the team. But how used do you have to get to being told no by people? That's the worst part, especially if you're underdone and then everyone's trying to bag you. I'm like, nah, I just don't want to do that. I want to sit down with my psych, learn how to overcome it. Mum's really honest, so she keeps me humble as well. And I think having a humble family has helped me realize it's not the end of the world if you are underdone, but own your mistakes. Like, you'll get told in our family if you're doing the wrong things straight away.
I feel like that's definitely, that we were speaking about our parents a lot last episode, and I think that's something that I think we're both very grateful for, is like shoulder to cry on, but pull your head out of your ass when you need to. And I think it's a great mixture of both.
But that's the other thing. I kind of sometimes love the fact that you do get called out. Like, I've had some moments where I'll extend my off season a little bit too long. Like, I love my tequila. There's no oh my God, I love it. Where I'll just drink that shit halfway into the season, and then I realize, like, fuck, no wonder why I'm like third. No wonder why I haven't run the time yet. I'm like drunk.
No wonder you're sweating right now. The rock. What is it? Terramana tequila?
Yeah, so it's double shot on the rocks. I love Don Julio.
Oh, yeah.
If anyone wants to surprise me. And Neho, though, I don't like silver. I hate silver.
You can just send it to PO Box 111 and she will accept all gifts.
Don, if you're listening.
Yeah.
But I think that's a great segue to go into, okay, you do all these amazing things on the track, and now we've spoken about these personal relationships that you've built with sponsors. Can you maybe, I feel like for a woman athlete particularly, you've done so well in that area, and especially within Australia, like I know in women's basketball, we don't get anything ever. And so it's good to see like someone fucking work for it, but also you deserve it. Like I think there's so many women who deserve it, but maybe just are unfortunate. Do you want to take us through maybe how you've gotten to where you've been with those certain sponsors, and what it's like being involved, and how that potentially doing all that helps you on the track?
Yeah. Fuck. This could take a minute. So again, like I always do come back to my childhood. And I think when you literally, my first job was at Cold Rock, the ice creamery.
We didn't have one in Horsham. But
oh, you're missing out.
I was just eating that all the time. Dude,
I swear, if they paid $50 an hour, I'd go back in a heartbeat. I loved it. I loved working at Cold Rock. But from a young age, I knew I had to get a job to actually be able to afford anything because we had no money. So that was my first job. And I remember thinking, I want to run as fast as I can. Hopefully I can make millions. I realized athletics isn't the sport if you want to make millions. But I knew if I ran fast and marketed myself in a way that would benefit me, sweet. So I remember reading a book about Charles Manson, the serial killer.
Yeah.
I'm into like crime and all of that. And in that book, they said he read a book called How to Win Friends and Influence People. And I didn't tell anyone this for a long time. I was a bit of a gatekeeper with it. I read this book and I thought, fuck, no wonder why this dude could control a whole group of people and get them to do whatever he wanted. It's just about how he connected with them. And that has honestly been the turning point for my career, reading that book and understanding like everyone has their own personality, upbringing and background, and just how to, in an honest way, the fucking title sounds arrogant as, but how to actually create connections with sponsors. So what I tell my manager and anyone I work with is ask them for a coffee. Ask them about their favorite color. You might find that you have something in common. Like, I love learning Spanish. I don't know, one of the girls at Maybelline likes Spanish. Then they really want to get to know you because you have that connection. And a lot of people don't want to do that. And I find it hilarious with a lot of athletes because you got to understand your worth. It's about being vulnerable, right? Like, I know my worth. I know where I sit on the scale. And just being vulnerable with, okay, I'm not worth $100,000 yet. I'm not worth $50,000 yet. Like, it's about working your way to the top. And I think the thing that really worked well was understanding that these people I'm trying to connect with are humans as well. We always say, oh, athletes are humans. You have to, be mindful. No shit.
Yeah.
But the people we're working for, it's not their life. They're humans too. So connecting with them on that deeper level is honestly what's helped me immensely. And it's funny, I'm actually in the process of kind of creating a bit of a marketing tool for athletes because I do want to help the next generation. Like, I haven't made a team since Tokyo 2021, but to still have a very somewhat, I don't like talking about money.
You have a big presence, yes.
But having a healthy income where I'm independent and all that, and seeing other athletes that are still making teams not reach that, I'm like, fuck, all I want to do now is actually help those people understand what it takes to get to that next level. And also understanding that, yes, if you want the most out of athletics, cool, or whatever sport, you also have to understand what comes with it when you finish. And I see a lot of bitter athletes who went to the Olympics and that's all they wanted, and then they finish bitter. And if I tell them this, like, no, it's just about running and making teams. I'm like, yeah, but you've really got to look at life after it and take these opportunities, because the older you get, the more they want the next generation. What are we up to, like Gen Z?
Yeah.
I don't know, Y, X, B, like whatever gen we're up to, they're the next crop.
Yeah.
So make the most of it while you can. And honestly, I get to the track and I'm like, fuck yeah, like racing this weekend, off to Torquay to watch friends surf on next weekend. Then I'm going to fly to Queensland and do something with F45. It's just really cool keeping life like interesting. I'm all about just experiences. So,
but if they feel like you care about them,
yes,
that chain of, oh, she's a great person, she's amazing, oh, she's this, she gives this, then all of a sudden you have a spider web of connections.
Yeah.
And when you have a spider web of connections, you're always going to have it, right?
Yeah.
So people need to understand in every single job, no matter what you do, it is about establishing connection, care and compassion. And if you have that and you have an authentic, conversation with people once a week, that's all I try and say to people. Have one authentic conversation per person in your workplace once a week. You'll get a raise, or you'll find a connection somewhere else with a better opportunity.
Yeah. And it's quite crazy, I think, these days. People are so quick to jump on the next big thing and then they fall short because all they care about is the business transaction. I'm like, well, if you don't give a fuck about them, what makes you think they're going to give a fuck about you?
You'll be gone.
And I also say, I think, again, it stems from my upbringing with my mum. She always reminds me, like, make sure you give back to the community. Make sure you do something for free. Not everything is money, because you'll find that karma is going to come back around in all sorts of ways for you in the future. And again, it is in a sense selfish, but the joy I actually get for giving back is insane. I do actually genuinely get joy out of, like, honestly, it's just about helping the next generation and even helping the men and women in our generation, because you know what it's like. The sport just goes by. Like, I probably have next year, if I can be bothered going to LA, hopefully LA, I'll be 33, but fuck, between next year and LA, I don't know what I'm going to do, and it could end at any time. So yeah, I think I want to encourage athletes to, like, know your worth and go do something with it.
And I think that's what's so important is you could also finish your career on your Achilles, right? Say if you fully bloody ruptured that, who knows?
Hey, I did it.
What way? No, but
I snapped mine. I'm good.
How long did it take to come back? Touch wood, everyone.
Yeah.
9 months. So they say about 12 months, but I was back playing 100% in 9 months. But it wasn't fun. So don't do that.
Hey, how did you do it?
I was running. It's on YouTube if you want to suss it out. Someone recorded it and put it up. It says Mitch Creek snaps Achilles. I was like, yeah, thanks, dickhead. And the worst thing is, people have been watching it. Like, you fucking assholes.
When was this?
This was 2014. So I was about 4 years, 3-4 years into the league. And we had a free throw or something like that. And I went to basically defend the person inbounding the ball. Yeah. And I ran from essentially the baseline where the ball was coming in, about 3 backward steps to the foul line. And then I was like, I should probably pick up the ball. So I went to defend, and I pushed forward at 30% of my ability to push forward. And my leg just slingshot in front of me. And I turned around and was like, someone
shot
kicked
me
in the back of the leg.
That's what everyone says.
Yeah. And that's the first thing I thought, like that. And then I turned around when I hit the deck and I was like, that kind of hurts. Looked around and no one was there. And I was like, instantly, I just remember crying, like immediately thinking, I've done my Achilles. I know that. Like, I 100% know that. And then, lo and behold, they walked in, they pushed down my calf. It was like Achilles, 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 Achilles. Whoop. And I was like, well, that's where it snapped, like right there. So yeah, I don't recommend
no
doing that.
You guys won't
Obviously
see me.
not. No.
I'm going to the Philippines or something. I'm just going to disappear.
Just grab some tequila and you'll be fine.
Yeah, what Achilles.
But that's the thing, as an athlete, your career can end at like
any moment.
any moment. And I think it's so important. like you said, athletes can be bitter, or they literally, you could be the number one track and field athlete or number one basketballer in the world. And if you have nothing ready going for you after you finished, I remember chatting with Mark Worthington being like, how do you know like when you were ready to retire? And like he told me about that experience, but he's like, even though I knew I was ready and he had stuff going on, how he went into that like deep, dark state of depression. And I'm like, it's so important for athletes to prepare. And I think especially females, if there's not as much, going on and all you do is have your eyes set on one thing. And I find even doing this, when we do the commentating and all that, I play better when I have like other things going on and I like that I'm still passionate about. And that's why I'm real intrigued. Obviously, you're a fashion student. You're really into that. Love it.
Should have been done 3 years ago. Let's maybe not talk about
No, but we're busy traveling and turning. So,
okay,
yeah.
Another defer?
Yeah, every
How many
time.
do you get?
2, and I think I pushed it for 3. I had
elite athlete. You get an
exemption.
Do they have
extra
a kid
quota.
that wants to be really fast at running?
Pardon?
Does the dean have a kid that wants to be really fast at
No,
running?
they have no idea about athletics. They're like, you what?
Yeah. You can't get a whole pass, sorry.
Nah,
You know.
good shit. Great uni though. Shout out Collards.
But do you find doing all that and being creative, one, does that make you better on the track, do you think? And then I guess my second question, do you find maybe there's haters, people who are jealous, whatever it is, do they then question you because you're so active in other things that you do outside of your sport? Hey, you're not actually giving 100% to track, so this is why you didn't come first.
It's so funny.
And does that piss you off? Because it pisses me off asking that question. Like,
hang on, what was the first question? I just started laughing because it does happen. It's like, I study fashion. I love fashion more than anything. I love the entertainment industry more than anything because I genuinely just love a good time.
Yeah.
And it's nice because you can see it on the track. Like I helped design the Jagged athletics kit, which is cool. Everyone looks hot. Everyone's happy. That's all I want, is to make other people look hot. And then, I'll, wear jewelry, wear grills, have the tats, whatever. And I'm like, well, it's just kind of who I am. Like I'm not really trying to do anything. I just genuinely I think I really know myself as a person. And then obviously what comes with that is a backlash. Like, fuck, I don't know why it makes me laugh now because I used to cry myself to sleep with the amount of bullying I'd go through. And a lot of people would be like, what do you mean? What do you mean? I'm like, you think I don't fucking hear you? You think I don't hear people spreading the amount of rumors I've heard about myself on the track, off the track, at any point, it just makes me laugh now. Whereas I used to cry myself like, she's fat, she's this, she doesn't care. I'm like, no, I still care. I just don't post about my training usually because when I'm training, I'm training.
Training, yeah.
I don't even own a tripod. What do you want me to My coach just smacked me. Like, what are you doing?
Hey, guys, I'm just going to film me coming off the blocks. Are you ready?
Yeah. And like if we get
worst,
some,
right?
yeah.
And you go to the gym and people like, you'll be doing squats and a guy just like goes and like metal magnets against the wall and he's just like, dickhead. Can I just do some chins? I just want to do some like strict pull-ups. Like, I don't want to watch you half rep a squat.
That's exactly how I feel. And it's kind of disappointing because especially in athletics, I find people are always complaining about the funding. We need more funding. Athletes need to be paid. Rah, rah, rah. I finally find an avenue to earn an income or, several different avenues. And that's when the backlash comes and it's like, wait, we've been talking about wanting to fund athletes. There's no funding. So I went out and did it myself. And now I'm like a villain. Like, are you kidding me? What do you want me to do? Is this like GoFundMe for everyone? Am I meant to flick my packet around? Like, I actually worked hard. And I think for the longest time, I would always feel guilty. People would ask me like, oh my God, F3, oh my God, this, oh my God. Like, yeah, like, fuck, it's fun. But like, don't talk to me about it because I don't like talking about myself. And now I'm like, nah, you know what? With the way I grew up, the things I've been through, the things I've had to overcome as a child, I don't think anyone would actually want my life and where I am now because of the amount of hard work I've like actually had to put in behind the scenes that a lot of people don't see. And so, if you just, I think it comes with wisdom. You get to your 30s, 29, 30, pushing it, almost 30.
What's a 30? I haven't heard
I'm 1 year away, fuck. But the older I get, the more I realize I just don't fucking care. Like, I'm not put on this earth for other people. I go get some fresh air. Like, I just don't want to hear it. And they're always the people that are sad. They're falling behind. They don't know themselves. So all you can do is, I don't really believe in anything, but all you can do is pray for them. Have a nice life.
I heard a thing like quite a long time ago, but it was if you had a child today and you could and you could fast
It's like
forward.
fitting a triangle in a circle. It just doesn't work.
Yeah. But it was saying that if you had a child today and in 18 years' time they become an adult, what things would you put that child through? What tests, what trials, what things would you put them through if you could choose to make them like resilient, adaptable, curious, attentive, hardworking, you know, all the things that we have gone through in our lives. Like I've been hit with the absolute shit stick of shovels through my career.
So your analogy is making me laugh. Not the fact that you've been hit.
Yeah, it's been a good hit sometimes. But you speak about like a really early childhood and trauma from that, from what I can pick up. And you don't have to go into that, but it's like when you go through heavy shit, you realize how fucking strong you can be, and you realize there is an absolute like monster inside of you, and your ability to control the monster is what makes you successful.
Yeah.
But I think that's the biggest thing people have to take away is when life's easy, you're not just going to be successful. It doesn't happen. You've got to really go through some shit and mentally, physically be in some battles and some holes that you can't get yourself out of.
Yeah.
And then you got to live there, and then you're like, this is rock bottom. And then you roll out of bed the next day and you're like, holy shit, that wasn't rock bottom. That was just like, that was a warm up.
I hate when
That was actually kind of fun compared to today.
Yeah. Can I go back 2 days when I said this is the worst day of my life?
Honestly, welcome to my show.
Welcome to the
It
Morgan
can't be that
Business.
bad. No, it can. No, you know what?
It definitely can.
Yeah.
But I think that's what makes you great. That's what makes other people in successful positions great. And I think that's what we have to also lean into and say, as much as we don't want people to go through what we've had to go through, and you want people just to, you know, have the fruit.
Yeah.
You got to go through planting the seed, throwing dirt on it, you know, people walking all over it, and then it eventually grows into something beautiful. And that's where I think we're at the moment in life is if we can figure out that you have to go through all this shit to then see it come through and blossom, then it's a pretty good journey after all.
No, that is true, I think. And that's the funniest thing is like I wouldn't change it for the world. It's hard though because you obviously wouldn't wish it on anyone else. And I always say worse things happen to better people. And that's what's helped push me forward is like, been dealt some pretty shit cards, but it's been worse. Like a lot more people around the world are toughing it out even more than I am. So the other thing that sucks for a lot of people, not sucks, obviously having a privileged upbringing is great, but they don't understand what we would have had to have gone through to get to where we are. And you just can't teach that. I think it also that, because I'm the same. Everyone knows like I'm always go, go, go. I genuinely
Do you have ADHD?
think I'm not getting onto that TikTok trend. Everyone's going, maybe actually.
Definitely think that there's a high chance that I do. I'm 100% on the spectrum, but I just won't get the test because I'm too stubborn.
You sent your schedule this week and it literally gave me anxiety. I was like, just text me when you're free. It was not every hour, but somewhere else. Like, do you have a helicopter? Because I legit was like, how do you get all these places?
Oh, I think it's serious. I'm like,
I do. You want to come for a ride? Yeah. Let me just fire up. I just parked in the Apple Pay car park across the road. Yeah.
No, I feel like we do that though. I know I do that because I'm so scared of falling back behind and like going back to my old life. And I think that's genuinely why I keep working. I'm like a workaholic because I'm so terrified of going back to square one. And until, obviously, like I said, Cold Rock raised their prices, I will not be going back to square one. It was $8 an hour. Like, what the fuck? So, yeah, I think that's genuinely the reason why I'm like, go, 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 go. What can I do next? How can I better myself? How can I improve, my family, athletes, the environment, like all different pillars that are important to me. How can I just make them consistently, like, better? So, yeah.
I think it's pretty cool because it's the biggest question we all ask ourselves every day is like, how do we get to the next day happy? And you try and figure it out that day. And every day you kind of have a reset of 24 hours and you go to bed, you wake up and it's like, how can I have a great day today?
Yeah.
And along that, people go, oh, money isn't everything. And it's like, okay, cool. No worries. I agree with you. Money isn't everything because my mum and dad didn't have a lot of it and that's fine. But my mum's mum and dad definitely didn't have a lot of it and then so on and so forth. But nowadays, it's like, well, how do you pay for your rent? How do you pay for a vehicle? How do you pay for servicing? How do you pay for
Anything.
food? How do you pay for a $23 piccolo? Like, whatever it is, you've
Money
got
kind of
to.
is a little bit of
It's crazy.
Can you imagine, like, he's a Southside Flyers, what is it, Melbourne Phoenix?
Yeah, it's the Melbourne Phoenix.
Is it Melbourne Phoenix?
Something like that. Yeah, it's
What
close
is it?
enough. Yeah.
Is it? No, what is it?
Southeast Melbourne Phoenix.
Oh,
I just
so
wanted to keep going. And see how
Melbourne
long-
Phoenix.
Sam Phoenix.
But can you imagine? Okay, here's rent. Number 22, thanks. Like, the fuck? Mate, I would be giving away a lot if rent you could pay with, your jerseys and spikes and stuff in rent. That's
That'd be
crazy.
awesome. But it's finding a way to, like, how can you support yourself? How can you support your family? How can you support others around you and still be comfortable? And then it's like, okay, well, there's another thing I can do. And then you feel like you're in a pretty good place and you look around for 30 seconds and you go, all right, I'm here. Like I got to an Olympics, I got to a world champs. You got to a, whatever it is, got to the NBA and you go, fuck, I did all this work to get here and I'm here.
Now
And
what?
it's this eerie, like, cold feeling I felt when I was in the NBA. I got picked and I was crying for 2 days. And then I started playing my NBAs. And then I was like, I remember sitting in my hotel room and I was in Boston. It was the second game I played. And it was this, like, $1,500 a night hotel. We walked into bars, people everywhere at 2 a.m. We flew in on a private jet. And I was just like, this is sick. And then all of a sudden I sat in the room.
Nice.
I sat in the room and I was like,
I want to play in the NBA.
I was like, but I said, well, what next? Like,
Yeah.
I've lost the buzz of, I got there, like,
Yeah.
but now what? And then I was like, this was it. I'm here now, but what now?
Who was it for? Just quickly.
Brooklyn Nets was my first contract.
That's sick.
So it was sick. Like, it was awesome. We played in Brooklyn on the Monday. We flew out Monday night and then we played on the Tuesday night in Boston. So we finished the game, went straight to the airport. They put us in like private car service. We went to the airport and we got on the private jet and chefs came in with food. The guys are playing, cards with hundreds of thousands of dollars at a time. And it's just like, this is wild. Guys are pulling out $100,000 stacks and playing cards. I was like, this shit's crazy.
Keep going, boys.
Hey, who needs a water? You want to tip me? It's like, it's 20% in Australia, you assholes. Actually, it's 50. But that's it. You get to a goal, you attain it, you feel like you've achieved it. You've set yourself up and then it goes, well, what next? That's always the what next. Because when you actually achieve your goals, it's amazing. But then you sit in there and you go, all right, well, I'm here. So, and no one else is with you at times.
Yeah.
And you're like, this is a one-person rodeo for you.
Yeah.
For us, we have a bit of a team, but at the end of the day, you go home as captains and you're like, well, did I do a good job today? I think so. And you kind of shut off and you're sitting there like, well, what next tomorrow? What's tomorrow? And that's the cool part for me is it's always a what next. Like, what can I do
Jumping out
next?
of planes and fucking.
Someone's got to do it. You're just checking the cloud density on the way down just for the weatherman.
Cloud density. You're kidding. What do you mean? What's next for me?
Yeah, what's next for you now? Like, what's the next thing? You've got all these feathers in your cap.
Yeah, I had this conversation with the owner of Jagged the other day in a meeting, and we were just talking about post Paris. And I was like, I have all of these options. And when I was asked, I thought, fuck. Like, there's so many different things I want to do, but I really have to figure out if I want to keep running between Paris and LA or if I really want to dive deeply into fashion. And what next for me is finish my degree, number one, but I would love to just move overseas and work for LVMH and just creative direct for different brands, high-end brands. I'd love to be that underground person where people are like, wow, we want Morgan. She's done this show. She helped Dior. She helped. I think that would just be, again, awesome.
What is LMVH for the idiots in the room like me?
Don't Louis Vuitton Moet Hennessy?
Oh, okay.
They're like the
What is it? Louis Vuitton.
Moet Hennessy?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So they're like a what do you
I got
call
Louis.
it? No. It's like the
He's still
a
like, I don't
conglomerate.
understand.
They own
Louis.
like all the
Dom Hennessy.
they own all the luxury brands and pretty much help market them, sell their products. And yeah, dude's a billionaire. He's on a packet, which is cool. But I would love to work for a brand like that because you can still connect with athletes. So they're sponsoring the Olympics. You can connect with models. You get to go to the parties. It's everything I've ever wanted away from the track with still having my foot in the door in the world of sport, because I think that's the one thing I do love it. And they do really well in America and Europe and Asia, everywhere except Australia, it seems, that they do want to endorse athletes. They want to, explore the world of fashion with, like the F1, the NBA walkouts, the NFL, all that. So that's like my next little goal. But I think between now and then, I'm probably just going to go to Africa for 3 months after Paris and like help build a village and teach the kids English and just give them all of my old athletics gear and hang out. Because, yeah, my dad's from Miami, but we are Liberian. So I really want to go there and kind of explore that part of myself and my background.
Amazing.
That's awesome. That's really cool. If you go to Africa and you donate all your stuff, I'll donate 100 of my Wolfpack Hoops kids jerseys, my reversible basketball jerseys. So all the boys and girls in the village can play.
Yeah. Any basketball
Is it
stuff
the
you've
yeah,
got.
shake,
Yeah.
Shake on
Are you
that.
in on it?
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Three-way shake. Oh, that got awkward.
Hey, what, we all end up in Africa. You guys are here as well.
Like
Welcome
next
back to the
episode,
podcast.
shooting from
Tanzania.
next to the giraffes.
Now that's the plan. I think definitely give back before I restart. I reckon. Can't tell you about athletics though. I wouldn't mind just maybe crossing codes and trying a new sport for fun because I feel like athletics is so. I don't know. Is basketball taxing the older you get? Like,
Yeah.
It's pretty easy. You should give it a go.
I used to play. I was alright. I'm not as good as you guys, but I was
It's not
alright.
hard. It's pretty easy.
I miss that team environment. You guys are lucky. Like,
Speaking of crossing codes, I really want to know because I don't know the answer. Is there a reason you changed from 400 to 800?
yeah, fuck.
Because also it's like that's a one lap longer, and oh
Yeah.
my god, that's a lot. Like I don't think people understand. That's
loco.
That's a lot. Like how did that
They're
come
Both
about?
suicide. No, it was actually again my life. Fuck. It was Com Games 2014. How old was I? No, 2018. Jesus, how old? Anyone good at math? I'm 29.
Negative.
No.
Years ago, 24.
Yeah, about 24.
Yeah.
No, you're right. Yeah, I was 23, turning 24 because I'm an October baby. But went to Com Games, and 3 months before it, my coach and I parted ways. My gym coach went to Brazil because he met a Brazilian and fell in love and didn't tell anyone. And then my physio just didn't rock up. And this is all at a certain institute in Melbourne. I'm not getting sued. And I remember this is 3 months before comms, and it's a home Com Games. And I made it for the 4 and the relay. And I remember coaching myself with one of my old training partners who helped guide me along the way. And I'm standing there, on the line like, fuck, I'm underdone because I've had to coach myself. I've lost everything.
That's nuts.
Yeah, again,
That's like a coach and our assistant coaches and our physios being like,
yeah.
hey team, sorry,
Good luck.
busy,
But 3 months out.
fell in love, see you later,
Yeah.
good luck for the
Yeah.
season.
Grand finals in 3 weeks.
Yeah,
mate.
I'm watching him
Holiday,
swim in
but-
Copacabana and I'm sitting there at this institute like, fuck. And there was no support. And
Jesus.
it's quite funny looking back. I remember thinking, why the fuck do I do this sport? I didn't tell anyone again. Like, that's what I was going through. People just thought, oh, she signed this deal. She did too much. She did that. Like, no, actually, I don't have anything. And I'm in the system. So I finished, crossed the line, got super drunk. I'll tell you guys, because it was in Gold Coast, you can imagine. Ugh. Like, what is it? Surface Paradise.
Paradise.
Serves
I
it
remember
enough.
like Sin City. It was so bad.
Jesus.
But I remember calling my now coach and I said to her, look, I'm going to go to Europe. I'm going to just holiday for a bit. When I come back, will you coach me in the 800? I just want to get fit. And she was like, random, but sure. I said, no, seriously, I'm either going to quit this sport because there's nothing for me with the 400. Everyone keeps trying to compare me to past athletes, but I just want to love the sport again. I don't really care. Come back from Europe, I'm like 10 kilos overweight and again, drunk. And she goes, look, just run some laps. Like, we'll get you into it. And I think after a month, I looked at her and said, we're going to World Champs. She was like, girlfriend, it's a new event and they're less than 6 months away. So we're going to World Champs. I just head down, bum up. I remember it was like clockwork just to prove a point to these people that shut me down. No one wanted me to run the 8. They all wanted me to run the 400. And I said, I've moved. You can't care now. Now that I've moved away from one of the golden events, the 400, and it doesn't help your media and marketing, like, there's no help. No. And then sure enough, we made worlds. It was pretty sick. And so I never really looked back. And I ran my first 400 in 4 years last week. So I think I will kind of come back to the 4 and do the double, hopefully, in Paris.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
Congrats, because
So-
that's epic. Like going from one to the other
Yeah.
and going through all that whilst drunk. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna.
Me running
it could
a
be a challenge. I think we have to do a behind the scenes challenge where we all just do like
next one
a
we're having
100
shots.
meter race and then we do 2 shots.
Yeah.
And we do that.
Oh,
like
I'm
10
smoking
times.
both of you in the shots. Like, you guys might actually get me in
I
the
can
100 meter
drink.
race.
I'll be dead.
But I can't.
What are
run
your
a 400.
choices? Now, what are your drinks of choice? It all depends on that.
I'm a Jameson drinker. Straight whiskey. And then I'll drink amaretto sours.
Oh, yuck. Okay, Celeste, if you're watching this, he likes amaretto sours.
Yeah.
That's my best friend in
Celeste,
Croatia.
you're a legend.
She's like, try it. It's bitter.
It's
Have you-
yeah. Well,
What, amaretto sours?
Yeah.
I gave her an amaretto sour last time we went out for a few drinks, and me and my buddy went there after a race event, and we're just sitting at the top of the bar, like just relaxing, catching up, and then out of nowhere, their whole team rolls up.
What's up, Greggy?
And she just gives me a hug. I was like, what the fuck are you doing here? It's like, it's a Friday.
And I never go out either. Like, I'm old.
She goes, what are you drinking? And I was like, oh, here. And then half the team was like, just have a sip. I was like, oh, yeah, no, you just have my drink. Like, it's okay. Everyone goes, oh, that's amazing. So I was like, they liked it. I like it. It's fruity and it's, a little bit.
It's fruity.
A little bit girly.
No, it's not fruity.
It's sweet.
It's bitter. It's like
you're
cough
bitter.
syrup.
That's
but like
crazy.
Almond cough syrup.
But you know what it is? It's
You were a
the
good
fake
podcast
cherry on
guest.
top.
Cancelled. Huh?
It's
Cancel
the
this
fake
show.
cherry on top. I do not like the red fake cherries. That I can't stand for.
But actually, they're real cherries. You can eat them.
Yeah, no, they're fake.
No, what you guys have to try though, I love red wine, so that's my I want to zone out.
Yeah.
But if you're trying to impress anyone or you're celebrating, have French 75s. Not going to tell you what's in it. It comes in a champagne glass, but just
Okay.
try that.
French
Don't go over
75.
3.
Yeah, no, I need to put this in my notes.
Nice little
French
Pinot
75.
Grenache, something soft. It's
Just
beautiful.
don't go over 3 is all
Okay.
I'm saying. Right?
75. Yeah.
Okay, while we're speaking of this and parties and fun shit, okay, who's your most famous person in your telephone? Is it Shaq Daddy?
I don't know if I should say it.
Oh my God, you can't say that.
Yeah,
Don't say.
He's a mate.
Oh,
But like Shaq, got his number. Mates, obviously. Just don't want people to think like,
oh my God, no.
Yeah, there's
But
no.
It's just from being overseas and like being in the thick of it, I guess. You just get invited to these places. So please, anyone watching, don't think I'm arrogant. It's just the life I've been dealt. I'm not mad. I'm trying. I just don't. I get nervous.
This is the thing. Like we had Jay-Z was our team owner at Brooklyn.
Yeah, that's sick.
We had like Barack Obama come to a game, sit courtside, and he watched me warm up, and I gave him one of these, and I just remember like looking across, and the guy's like, "Oh, that's Barack Obama." I was like, "No, it's not." And then it was just after everything, and I was just like, "There's no way." And I like walked past and tried to like coyishly like. Oh, I reckon I missed every shot for the next 4 minutes. I was like, shit. But I walked past and there was like, he had people like around him and stuff like
Yeah.
that sitting down. Obviously,
I
like,
love him.
man's rolling heavy.
Yeah.
But I went past, I was like, oh, hey, mate. And just like, I extended the love and I got
And
like
you
a soft,
got-
like, oh. But I was like, you know what? That's pretty cool. But we had like Meek Mill, Jay-Z, all these guys. We went to the clubs and stuff with them. Yeah.
But life is so different. I feel like states to here, like
I love
Aussie
it.
celebrities is not the same.
So what's the best shindig you've been to? Like what's the ultimate? Like the Mecca, you could go back, relive it again, but you have the same experience, but you'd have it for the first time again. Where are you going? Who's there? What are you doing?
I'm not going to name too many names. One time back in 2019, I think it was, there was an after party in the hills, and it happened to be on the night of my birthday. And when I tell you, I'm not going to name any names because I really don't want this certain family to come after me, but it was probably the greatest night of my life. And if I could go back right now, 1,000%, see you guys later. Going
Thanks,
back.
bye.
Yeah. I don't want to get into too much detail, but that was the coolest because you had people I can't even imagine singing me happy birthday. You know what I mean? I thought this is just fucking epic.
It's amazing where you can end up. Like there's so many, like I'm sure that there's certain people that have been really successful that have stories. And I know I've got a couple that I've spoken with, like some really close friends and family. And they're like, oh, no way, I don't believe you. And you show them a photo or a video and they're just like,
Yeah.
you met that person? And you're like, yeah. And like, yeah. And you were pouring shots? You're like, yeah. And they're like, no way. And you're like, they are normal people.
Yeah.
And they get like what I think that whole like A-list celebrity and the top of the top, they all get each other because they all go through the same shit.
Yeah.
They have projection after projection. They work their asses off. They get pulled in 100 different directions and they're
Yeah.
successful. But then they have to put on this beautiful, silver gown and just present themselves and be all eloquent and professional. But then as soon as that door closes
It's
and
a bit-
all the cameras get turned off,
As soon as that door closes, as soon as you sign that NDA.
you are on.
I love
It's like
reading those
phones
things.
in the box gets locked.
I think that's the one thing I do love. And that's probably why I don't go out in Melbourne as much because it's just
Shit.
it's just not the same, you know what I mean?
So shit.
That's why I said to the girls, if we go out for my birthday next year, it's going to be overseas because I'm just not going to get anything. Not in a rude way. I think it's all just, what you've experienced and you have that like, oh, I just want to do that again.
Yeah.
So
It's like anything. You try something, you feel what it's like, you get to experience it, you enjoy it. Driving a nice car.
Yeah.
Once you drive a nice car, you're like, oh, it's a bit nicer than the old Ford Laser I had in 1984 that used to blow up. Yeah, I had a little Ford Laser hatchback and there was a 4-door at the Institute. Remember that? Yeah. The boys had it. And we ended up, someone stole it and crashed it. We had a communal car that I bought for $300 out of a junkyard and we took it up to Canberra. It was my first ever car. It was a little Ford Laser hatchback and we all piled in, all 6'6", 5 of us. And we'd drive to school, it would overheat and steam. It was a pile of shit. But someone eventually stole it and then crashed a $300 car. Like, you losers. But then now I grow up and I'm like, I love cars. I love motorbikes, obviously, like riding here today and racing, jump, like all the cool stuff that I get to do. And I'm like, I never would have thought in a million years I get to do that. But then you do it, you get a nice car and you drive it and you're like, oh, this is actually really nice. And then you get used to it. And then you go back and I still appreciate old beat up cars. I like to try and build them, restore them. But that's life. Like you experience something up here and then you kind of go out here and you're like, oh, let's go to Dog and Duck in Adelaide. And you're like, oh, okay, cool. Like, sweet. Let's go to Dog and Duck or let's go wherever. Like it loses that sense of like, this is really exciting. Because the first time you go out in Melbourne, it's like
best thing ever. Yeah.
This is like Vegas. But then once you actually start going out more, you're like, oh, this is the same. Like, it's not a bad thing, but
But I think also like one thing I really try to do every time I do get to experience that stuff, again, it comes back to mum because she does FaceTime me a lot. Or I just try to remain humble and know that it's not real life. You know, like you could imagine. Sometimes I walk in and I'm like, what the fuck? But then I get out of it and I'm like, oh, Hollywood's actually a pretty fucked place. Like you can really get chewed up and spat out, or I kind of try to remind myself like it's not real life. It's like a taste of fun, and then you just got to regroup and go home the same way you came, because I can't imagine changing myself for that. Do you know, like a lot of people do go over there expecting to become the next Brad Pitt or whatever. It's like, don't get your hopes up because that place will suck your soul out and you're not getting it back. So that's one thing I just want to let the listeners know is that I'm not, I promise I'm not arrogant. It's just, again, it's just the cards that I was dealt and I'm not mad.
You go.
No, I was going to say, I think that's why it's so great when you have an upbringing or you go through shit times. It 100% makes you enjoy what you have now. Yeah. Enjoy the fruits of your labour. I don't know why that came out of my mouth.
No,
I just watched Hunger Games. I think that's why all fought on the top 10. I did it in 2 days. But it's just like, it makes you enjoy that more, but it also does, I feel like it really does keep you humble.
Yeah.
And I feel like this is like a perfect, we always end the podcast with, do you want to go? So say the quotes. Creaky, I feel like that's
I got 2 here. You got to choose which champion quote best describes your view on life. Shout out Champion, proud sponsors of the Performance Circus. We love them.
Creaky, nice Phoenix green you've got going on.
Southeast Melbourne Phoenix.
You know what? Okay. Let's keep it
arrogant. No.
But look, which of these Champion 2 quotes best describes your view on life? The first one, your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life. Shout out to Steve Jobs. Or number 2, never let the fear of striking out keep you from playing the game.
Classic.
Nah.
You've got 2 here.
Who's that second one by? Is that Coach Carter?
Babe Ruth.
Yeah,
Babe Ruth. I said Coach Carter.
Coach Carter.
I had, that Coach Carter quote that was like,
Samuel L. Jackson.
Your fear is inadequate beyond measure. That was in my Facebook bio.
You are.
Ew.
Do you remember MSN where you're like you? Oh god.
Appear offline, waiting for my crush to go on. They're online now.
Log out, log back in. Still doesn't want me.
Yeah.
What a time, man.
That was actually the hardest part about my job.
When your email ended in @hotmail.com. If you have not changed
my shopping one does still end in Hotmail.
Mine does. Mine's Mitch_Creek.
You just told
That's it. I don't care. I don't check it. I get like 800 spams a day.
Mine was Bexter_Rexter with a WREX. Yeah.
Morgs, what was yours?
Thinks that was sexy.
Oh my god.
Here we go. Let's go. What do you got?
Oh.
This is vile. Zoom in close.
I've
tight
never
shot.
said this. My sisters will drag me if I don't say it because it'll get posted.
Come on.
It's not even that bad. I just think, no, actually it's pretty fucking bad.
Come on then.
Do you remember? No, I'm going to tell this
why not?
mini story. Do you remember when people used to say rocks Like she rocks with an X.
Hence the WREXTAR for Rexstar. I get it.
Mine was. I can't even say it. Like, honestly, when I can't say something, I start to gag. Whoa. I'm starting to fucking sweat, you guys.
We got some tissues.
Yeah, where's the tissues?
Why should you see that?
But, I'm bleeding. I've actually just split my. Okay, fine. It was Morgstar Rocks at home.
Morgstar Rocks.
And I've just given myself concussion. Fuck. That's so embarrassing. And it's still active.
She said,
There you go, ladies and gentlemen.
That's actually never happened. Oh, sorry. Back to the quotes. You can put this on. I don't care. Is it bleeding a lot?
Nah, you're good. It's nothing really. It just looks like a mozzie bite. You did a good job. We need can we make some kids tape for these corners next episode? Okay, so
For the 29-year-old child.
we got this. I think for you, what is it? That your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life. Or never let the fear of striking out keep you from playing the game.
The first one.
Ooh.
Yeah, your time. I think because the second one is definitely overused and overdone. Every time I hear it, I'm like, something about fear of striking out. And then you see it in Pilates studios and stuff. And I'm like, what? I'm here to just build my ass. Like, don't need inspiration.
Yeah, I just want to do some
donkey
booty
kicks
bands.
and glute raises. I do like the first one though, because I do think there are a lot of people out there that try to be someone else and they lose themselves. So
Yeah,
we'll go with that. And
Oh,
I love it.
yeah, good. Well, Morgs, Morgs_rocks.
oh my God.
I'm sending an email tonight off mine. I'm going to add you on MSN
Right.
see if I get a
Let's
DM.
go. Yeah.
Let's go. We'll do a 3-way chat.
Thank you so much for coming on board. I've loved getting to know you. You're more than just an athlete.
I'm so
That's
sorry,
it.
guys. This is not planned. Keep going. Sorry.
No, thanks for sharing more about your life. And I think for all young kids out there, remember, stay humble. Remember that there is more to life than just, say, a sport that you're really good at or something that's really smart. Or there's so many things you can be passionate about in the world. So thanks to Champion for making this podcast possible. If you guys enjoyed it, give it a like, give it a share on any of your social media pages. And we will talk to you the same time next week.
Let's go. Thanks, Morgs.
Thanks, guys.